discuss the history of DevOps. In order to understand DevOps, you need to know a little bit about the agile software development movement, because DevOps grew out of agile software development. Agile software development is a way of doing software development that focuses on small, frequent cycles in order to deliver functionality to customers quickly and quickly respond to changing business goals. The traditional way of doing software development was called waterfall, and it focused on long planning phases, doing several months worth of software development work, and then a long testing and release cycle. Agile, on the other hand, focuses on doing work in small pieces, releasing very, very frequently, sometimes every 2 weeks, sometimes every week, sometimes multiple times a week, with a focus on getting small pieces of functionality in front of the customer as quickly as possible. Agile software development is called agile because it is more agile. It allows a software development team to change direction very, very frequently and respond to changing customer needs almost immediately. DevOps and Agile often go hand in hand. It can be difficult to do Agile without DevOps, and it can be difficult to do DevOps without Agile. Let's talk about the events that led to the creation of the DevOps cultural movement. In 2007, Agile software development was becoming more and more popular, but was suffering from a lot of friction between developers and operations, as developers were trying to release code more and more frequently, while operations people were trying to maintain the stability of their systems. In 2007, Patrick Dubois was an engineer who had experience in the industry doing both development and operations work. He was working on quality assurance testing on a particular project and became frustrated with all of the problems caused by the divide between dev and ops. As a tester, he was constantly going back and forth between them and saw that there were many issues getting in the way of releasing software quickly while maintaining stability. In 2008, Patrick Dubois met Andrew Schaefer at the Agile 2008 conference in Toronto, Canada, and they began to start conversations about this divide between development and operations and how to close the gap. They began to look for other people who were interested in bridging that divide and began to start online discussion groups to talk about this problem. On June 23, 2009, there was a famous talk given by John Allspaw and Paul Hammond at the Velocity Conference called 10 Plus Deploys Per Day, Dev and Ops Cooperation at Flickr. They were doing an extremely large number of deployments every day, and they had pioneered some ways to do that through cooperation between development and operations. Now, Patrick Dubois was watching this talk via live stream, and it started a huge discussion on Twitter. On October 30th through the 31st, 2009, Patrick hosted an event called DevOps Days in Ghent, Belgium. This was a small conference for both developers and operations engineers, and it spawned a continued conversation on Twitter with the hashtag DevOps. From there, DevOps grew into an organic grassroots movement all over the world and has continued to gain in popularity. This collaboration between developers and operations people has led to the creation of many different tools that support the practices valued by DevOps. Since 2009, the DevOps movement has not stopped growing. What began as a small niche movement among just a few people has now become completely mainstream. DevOps has spawned a large variety of tools and an entire industry, and it has completely changed the face of the IT industry forever. DevOps has almost become a de facto standard. The companies that are growing the most, the companies that are the most successful today in the IT industry, are companies that are doing and pioneering DevOps. Now you understand a brief history of DevOps, and hopefully that will give you a little insight into the DevOps cultural movement. The next section of this course will go on to discuss DevOps culture